I found our wedding ring on Marketplace. The seller wanted me to buy it back hook. The photo was small and a little mean. Flat light, scratched table, the kind of angle that makes anything look tired. But the engraving inside the ring was ours. 2 initials and a date. My thumb froze above the screen like it remembered the weight better than my mind did. The listing price was $47 and the seller's name was just a first initial. S. I clicked, "Is this available?" and wished the question didn't sound like a diagnosis. I'm Evan, 36, operations at a shipping warehouse where everything arrives late and leaves with a tracking number that makes everyone feel better. My wife is Sophia, 35, a librarian who can make teenagers whisper without hatting her. We've been married 8 years. We know where the measuring cups live and which chair wobbles. Lately our life has been reliable in the way a streetlight is reliable. It works. No one applauds. The ring looked exactly like the one I tapped on store glass the week I quit smoking. Silver, small, simple, the inscription crooked because the jeweler insisted on charming. On Marketplace it looked bored. The caption said, "Fair condition, minor scratches, quick pick up." I could have texted Sophia. I could have said, "Did you lose your ring? Or is this a prank?" Instead I messaged the seller, "Available." A gray dot pulsed, thoughtful and unhurried then. "Tonight, 8:30, cash. Cafe on Birch and 3rd. Ask for the table with a yellow book." Yellow books are a librarian's cologne. I put on a jacket that made me look like someone with keys to important rooms and walked to the cafe without inventing an ending on the way. The bell over the door had the decency to sound tired. A woman sat at a corner table with a yellow book propped like a tent. Her hair was under a cap, a habit Sophia uses when she's working or when she doesn't want to explain anything to strangers. My heart did the stupid thing it's good at. She flipped the book down. Sophia. No surprise act, no accomplice. Her face did a small, complicated dance, relief and apology rehearsing in the same breath. "Hi," she said, like we were 2 neighbors who recognized each other in a city that allows that. "Hi," I said, because vocabulary is a finite resource in emergencies. She slid the ring across the table in a paper envelope. I didn't touch it. We looked at each other over a crooked inscription and a price too specific to be arbitrary. 47, I said. "Our apartment street number when we first moved in," she said. "Also the number of times you told me to keep the receipt because we might return to the store for something better." She smiled without teeth. "Joke." I sat. A server asked if we wanted anything. "Tea," Sophia said. 2 cups. She has this superstition that decisions made while drinking tea are less likely to grow barbs. I watched her hands and felt ridiculously homesick. "Why?" I asked when we had cups and the steam had turned the conversation into something soft enough to hold. "Multiple choice or S," she said, buying time the way you buy stamps, one at a time for something that has to go somewhere. "Essay," I said, "if you can." She tucked hair behind her ear, an old clock resetting itself. "The ring started to feel like a maintenance plan," she said. "A reminder to schedule. Good, necessary, dull. I wanted to want it again, I thought, if I put it somewhere slightly dangerous, if I risked it, and if the person who gave it to me noticed and met me at the table with a yellow book, maybe we could buy it back with something better than money." She put both hands around her cup. "It's not a test, it's a dare. Maybe that's worse." I swallowed a polite argument about tests. Dares have witnesses, tests have grades. I could live with witnesses. "And if I hadn't seen the listing," I asked. "I would have pulled it at midnight," she said. "Relisted it next week. Given up in October. I don't know, I don't have a villain monologue." "Why not just tell me?" "I tried," she said, and I could hear it, that soft echo from nights we both said we were fine. "I came home with the ring on a chain 2 months ago. You said, 'Nice.'" I wanted to say, "It's heavy on my finger because it's carrying everything we forget to say," but the pasta was boiling. She glanced at the door like it had an opinion. "I want to choose you, not continue you." I opened the envelope. The ring lay inside like a little planet with weather. The inscription looked more crooked than I remembered. So what's the currency? I asked. If not cash. She slid a folded napkin across the table. On it in block letters that could label a continent she'd written, Bill of Sale TERMS asterisk. Underneath a list. 1 keep asterisk asterisk, a habit we promise to maintain. 1 donate asterisk asterisk, a rule we agree to stop obeying. 1 dare asterisk asterisk, a practice we'll attempt even if it makes us ridiculous. 1 witness asterisk asterisk, someone who gets to ask how it's going monthly. Payment due tonight. Ring restored upon signature. I laughed, a bark that turned into something harmless. You made paperwork. You like paperwork, she said. You respect things that come with forms. She wasn't wrong. I uncapped a pen. Keep, I said. Sunday breakfast sitting down, no phones. We used to taste pancakes. Lately we just count them. Her mouth did that small half smile I still want to frame. Keep, she added. Touch in doorways. Passing by is still passing by. I wrote asterisk donate, silence as politeness asterisk. She wrote asterisk donate, weaponized fine. We both nodded like we were handing over contraband. Dare, she asked. Ask once a week for something I think I don't deserve, I said, surprising myself with both the number and the honesty. Without treating it like a performance review, she considered, eyes on the steam. Flirt in the middle of chores, she said. Not at the end, in the mess, not as reward, as ingredient. I fought the impulse to quip. Quips are deflection in a suit. Witness. I asked, she chewed her lip. Jules, our friend who texts soup and shows up with a gentle stare that could level a building if it wanted to. She won't weaponize it. Jules, I agreed. Monthly. She's allowed 1 question and 1 eye roll max. We signed the napkin. She slid the ring toward me and didn't let go for a second, like passing a torch requires choreography even when the fire is small. Can I ask something not on the form? I said. You can ask anything, she said, and I believed her, which is alarming and rare. Half the time I don't touch you because I think you don't want to be touched, I said. The other half I don't touch you because I think you'll think I only touch you when I want something. She closed her eyes like that sentence had a sound. I want to be touched like an announcement, she said, eyes opening. As in, I'm here, not I win. You can always announce. I put my hand on the back of hers where the bones make a map I know. Her shoulders dropped a centimeter, the way elevators fall in good buildings. The cafe did its usual business around us, a practical mercy. Why 47? I asked again, softer now. The year my grandmother got married, she said. She taught me to sew buttons back on in a way that looks like they were never gone. I wanted her in the room. She tapped the ring. Also the street number. Also because 47 looks like a checkmark leaning on a 7, like the future signing off on the past. She tilted her head. Your turn to ask something reckless. Did you think I wouldn't come? Yes, she said. And I came anyway. She reached into her bag and took out a little velvet pouch like a joke about treasure. She spilled 2 more items onto the table, a tiny key with a tag that read kettle at 9, and a folded index card titled window hour. She raised an eyebrow at my face. Don't panic, no cult. The key, I asked, playing my assigned role. Metaphor, she said, unapologetic. If either of us says kettle at 9 any night, we make tea and sit for 10 minutes with no solving, just touch and breathing. Then we can talk or not. The key is so you let it in. And window hour. Sunday evenings, 30 minutes facing the window, 2 truths and 2 questions, no jobs, no spouses, just weather and what we want next. It's silly. It works. Silence arrived and sat between us like a pet that knows tricks. I tried to locate the version of me that would have argued with this. The version with a rational brow, the version whose wrists were made of excuses. He didn't show up.